All right, we are almost ready to publish this, but what we need in here are some titles. I'm going to go back to my favorites just because I have starred a few, and you do that just by going into all, seeing any that you like, and there's a little star in the bottom right-hand corner. If that's something that becomes a favorite, let's say that you do a series of videos for a blog or for some classmates or some to-do videos for a team you're on or a club you're on. You may want to unify the look and feel of that by using the same animated titles. This is a great way to do it. Click on your favorites and then you have access to those again without having to search for them. I have two that I really like for this. I have one called Light and Bold Line, so I'm going to drag that over into place here on the left. And I have one called Short and Bold. So I'm going to drag that next to it because I want to see which one looks better for this particular project. And I'm also going to mute for the moment that Dreamland so that we can talk above this. So this is a really nice title. It unfolds from the top, then it folds back up. The next one is a much shorter title, and it does more of a bounce expansion, and then it disappears. When I look at my background with these white boats forming that arc, I'm thinking the wider one is the edge of it is getting lost in those white boats. And I don't really want to make the color black in this case because I have this beautiful dark blue over on the right. So I think what I'm going to do is get rid of the first one, and I'm going to opt for the one that's a shorter title, and I'm now going to move that title slightly closer to the darker blue. To do that, I just click on the title, and I can just drag it. I'm going to move it just slightly over so that the entire animation happens away from that white boat area. And let's take a quick look at that now. See if we like that position. Perfect. So I'm going to go back, and now it's time to edit this. These Mogurts, one of the beautiful things about them is that you can edit not only the text, but usually the designers of these animated motion template graphics have given you the ability to change text color, all kinds of things. Let's take a look at some of those attributes. If I look at the actual Mogurt, and I go to the Titles panel to the right of Styles, which is where I chose that particular animated title, I have a menu item called Edit. Each word has its own drop-down. So let's take a look at Vary. I can change the font, I can change the font style, the size, the character spacing, line spacing. I can change the color fill, the drop shadow, the opacity, the blur. All of these attributes can be done just simply by using either drop-down menus, dragging sliders. You don't have to do any programming, and you don't have any interaction with a program like Premiere Pro or After Effects. Now, at some point, you're going to probably really get excited about how these look, and you may want to design some of your own. And the good thing about Rush is that I can push that project from Rush to Premiere Pro. I can then start using After Effects and just go to town with whatever else I want to do. For right now, let's just change the titles really quickly, the names of them. So I'm going to call this Ocean Study Project. Pretty lame, but there we go. All right, so that's done. And let's see how this works. All right, I'm going to turn that music back on. I think that's where I want it to be. I just want to be sure that I don't still have too much of this clip after. I'm finding that there's a real trend in the industry to go with shorter videos. There's a real popular tutorial that people go through for 1-minute videos because they find that people really have the strongest focus in that first minute. If you can tell your story in that minute or just a little bit over, you have a much better chance of people staying with it, becoming excited about it, and wanting to delve into more. So let's start this. So I counted to about 1 and 2 after that motion template graphic was gone, and I think that's really all I need for this introduction. So I'm going to pull this clip back and shorten it yet again. And last but not least, I need to adjust that soundtrack again. And there's one other thing that I find is a little annoying. If I go to the end, that music just comes to an abrupt halt. And if we look at our audio panel, there really is nothing to transition out of a audio clip. But what is maybe not the most intuitive, but it definitely works, is if you go back to your transitions, notice that they're called transitions, not video transitions. I can also use the fade to black on an audio track. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drag the dip to black down below, and I'm going to really pull that out. So I may need to zoom in a little bit here. There we go, so I can grab it, drag that to the left. I want to make this a more gradual decrease in volume. And it just goes down much more gradually than coming to an abrupt